Hello again, everyone. Edwin Lerner back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about zodiac or astrological sign compatibility between Leo and another Leo. And yes, it does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant for both people. Now, anyway, I see this as neutral by sign. They are the same sign. A lot of people seem to be under the impression, well, that there's this instantaneous attraction, there's this automatic chemistry. You might feel something strong initially, but there's also the expression familiarity breeds contempt. You can have a lot of friction, and I think especially if you have these people have a conjunction aspect between these energies, and I'll talk a little more about that later. But anyway, on the positive side, both these people can be very generous and magnanimous as far as whether it's something of monetary value or whether it's with their possessions, with their time in their home. They just, in that sense, both those people can really give each other a lot. I think on one negative side, though, is that you have extravagance on both these signs. Now, Leos are notorious for expending exorbitant amounts of money on items. And the thing about this is, if you have a situation where both these people are living together and it's a significant other situation, I really believe it's important to be careful not to go over the means, especially if you have a situation if these people have children and you want to have something tucked away, I guess a nest egg, so to speak, and so there's something where you don't squander money on unnecessary things and be able to have something saved up, and whether it's for children or for some other emergency or what have you. So those are some things to look at as far as the compatibility goes. Both these people, they really like to get recognition and attention for what they do. And I think on the positive side, you could have it where both these people will have a mutual admiration society for each other. And I think they're willing to give understanding that one's the mirror image of the other. Especially if they understand about astrology, they could they could give each other that praise and laud each other for their efforts, and they understand both would be very appreciative of it mutually. And I think that's one thing that's important to look at as far as the compatibility and synastry goes in this combination. On one negative side, though, both can being fixed signs, both could be intractable, and you also can both can actually be really domineering as well. And when you have this combination, one or both may have to swallow that famous Leo pride, so to speak, and maybe be able to show that humility, because neither one really wants to lose an argument. Both these people being Leo, they both can have a fiery temperament, and it can sometimes be contentious situation because they're both fire signs tend to be a little more argumentative than the other elements, and it can be disputatious, but at the same time, one both these people might get angry, but then the anger can dissipate really quick. And once that argument ends, usually neither one of these signs are known for being vengeful or vindictive or grudge holding. So basically, you have the forgive and forget philosophy. Both these people can have a lot of courage and fortitude, and really can really appreciate, admire each other for that. So I think that's something else to look at as far as this compatibility goes, is this combination. Now, as far as in the bedroom, if this is like a romantic, sexual, significant other situation, well, both these people, being Leos, may take, of course, a lot of pride in this, and in which they do in virtually every element in life. And I think obviously both being fire signs, you definitely have a lot of fire. It could be very passionate. It could be very good, I think, as far as the sexual compatibility goes. So you won't have any shortage of enthusiasm or exuberance, both of them being fire signs. I say this jokingly that both of them being Leos, maybe you might have trouble maybe deciding which one wants to be the dominant one, so to speak, but I'm only kidding as far as that goes. So really, I think looking at this, it's always Leos are very it's a very positive combination as far as this goes. So really, it's also when you look at these two people, I think what's important to look at as well is that you got to make sure that there's not, as far as the domineering thing, what I was talking about before, is that they really, you have to be, I think one they have to realize that one is not going to be able to assert much power over the other because they are very similar in this respect. They're both these people are can be born leaders, and they're generally not going to really want anybody dictating the course of action to them, especially if it's in a very forceful manner. So those are some things to look at as far as this combination goes for as far as compatibility between Leo and another Leo. And I think what's important too is these people can be creative. So whether it's a business situation or what have you, or if there is a situation where they have creative ideas, I think they could both collaborate very well together on this. And if one of these people, say, has an innovative idea or some new idea for an invention, for example, the other person could likely be able to promote it well because Leos have that, I think, that propensity to be able to sell things very well and boast about the positive elements or attributes of that particular product. Well, anyway, it's also important to look at the aspect, if any, that is made between these two people, as this could indicate perhaps whether might have a little better compatibility than otherwise indicated, or maybe about the same. Well, anyway, in many cases, you will have a conjunction aspect take place between the energies of these people. Let's say, for example, one person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Leo at 18 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Leo at 20 degrees. Well, this could be very intensifying, and you could have certain friction with this, but on the positive side, you will have, these people can be very similar and respect each other for those similar the positive attributes that each one possesses. So I think when you have a conjunction aspect, and especially like the same sign, it's very important to look at the other aspects in the compatibility and synastry report even more so than, say, like when you have a sextile or any other aspect other than the conjunction. It makes this really, it's something to really, it's kind of like the tiebreaker, so to speak. So, and anyway, they are conjunct by signs, so it keeps it about the same, I think, as far as that compatibility goes, just for this one aspect anyway. Also, you could have a semisextile aspect take place between the energies of these people. Let's say, for example, one person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Leo at 0 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Leo at 29 degrees. Well, I call that semisextile. I call it slightly positive or slightly auspicious. It's not a major aspect, it's a minor one, but it is a good one. So it's like the sextile. It can give certain harmony, but it's not as strong or powerful as the sextile aspect is. So you might be able to work through, if there's any difficulties that exist between these people, it might be able to be worked through a little bit better than otherwise indicated. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for zodiac or astrological sign compatibility between Leo and another Leo. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about zodiac sign compatibility between Leo and Virgo. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone. Because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.